Welcome back to The Link, everybody. Our friends from the Department of Agriculture are here. It's our roundtable. We're talking about whether or not there will be a roundtable for Bill 112. We got one right here, guys, and we were talking about all that's going on with our friends at Department of Ag. And I know Jane Diaz here, and you guys know Jane. She is the Hunter Education Coordinator, and basically the only people or the only creatures in nature that really aren't happy to see Jane in here are the pigs, because that when Jane's on the case, that means you're going to do some really awesome hunting. So, Jane, it has been far too long. So good to see you.
Hi, today. We're lucky that we had interns this past couple of weeks, and we're able to offer a hunter ed class. So they went through the whole curriculum, and we had about 12 interns last week take the class, and 3 of them opted to take the exam, and they passed. So they earned themselves a lifetime hunter education certification.
Very nice. May I ask, were any of them, did they have any hunting experience like already, or had they say, they've even secondarily, like, they've gone out with their uncles or their grandfathers or anything?
No, these are all new hunters, and today we're also hosting a second group, and no one has hunted before. So this is a great opportunity to increase information about hunter safety, but also natural resource management.
Very impressive. Well, Jane, thanks for what you do, man. We cannot wait until we are back in full swing and we can have some of those pork in the park and the open hunting festivities again. Because I always enjoy interviewing you about that, because you're so positive and you want to get people not only hunting, but hunting responsibly, hunting safely, and doing it the right way.
Yeah, so the good thing is we're trying to do an online program so we can get more people taking the class, and it's going to be free.
Very nice. Best 4-letter word in the English language. Yeah. Free right there. So.
Yeah. We're so excited.
Okay, so we have.
You know what?
Oops, go ahead, please.
Yeah. No, but we take the kids out on a skills trail, and so we have the cutouts of our boars, and they have to decide if they're going to shoot or not shoot, if it's a safe situation. So we do offer a hands-on, and then we also have the marksmanship practice with airsoft guns. So that's what they're doing for tomorrow's class.
Oh, very nice. Okay, there's about 1,000 Babui right now that are watching this on Facebook, and we know they are, that are just like they're shaking in their hoofs right now. But that's a good thing for our island community.
Yeah, so we're thankful for the interns who are very on task, and they're so focused on learning the hunter ed curriculum.
Very nice. Okay, now I'm going to make maybe a naive assumption right now. Let's go to Chris Leon Guerrero. And of course, Chris is the with Agriculture Development Services. And Chris, might those be some of the interns you have with you right now?
Hi there. I have 2 interns with me. Want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Abby. Oh, I'm AJ.
Half a day, guys. Welcome to The Link. We're happy to have you on the show.
Hey.
Yeah. So, Chris, what's their responsibility been, and how have they been, acclimated into the Department of Ag family to this point?
Basically, what we want them to do while they're here is just kind of absorb everything that they can with our agency, and we wanted to provide to these young adults a very comprehensive learning experience here at the Department of Agriculture, so they kind of understand what we do and all the tasks that we're responsible for across all aspects of the island. But yeah, I hope that they're having fun. This is actually our second group, so they came from a previous another department previously. So the ones that I had for a few weeks, they switched off, and then so we have a new group with us here at ADS.
Very nice. Okay, now may I ask the two of you, like, how has your experience been so far? And you don't worry the fact that your supervisor is like sitting right next to you and everything like that. How's it been?
When we first got here, we started off in wildlife division. So we started off in the DAR department, which is the wildlife division. Yeah, which basically does wildlife and fisheries. So we got to soak up a lot of information and get a lot of experience from doing the things. We did a lot of fun stuff.
Very cool. All right. Well, it's going to be a real short summer, but I know we've got friends there, and I mean they are going to make it like an unbelievable, like lifelong memories you guys are going to take away, and the education and the experience you guys are going to gather certainly is going to be very valuable. So Thanks so much for jumping in here. Have fun this summer. Okay, I've got at least two guys here who are very very knowledgeable about all things fishery. We have of course Frank Roberto. Frank, good to see you as always, bro. Yeah, and we've got Brent. Oh, of course. Oh, there's Brent. Brent Tibbetts has not been on the show in a minute and everything. So Brent, it's always a good time when you're here. So gentlemen, what are you guys working on right now as far as managing fisheries and informing Guam's fishing community and just making sure that we do things the right way?
I can go first. So in terms of the community, still working on the CARES Act funding or the CARES Act program. We are starting the second round, so you can come in and apply and register. It's going to be the same packet. And if you did register last year and you did apply last year, you can apply again this year. And this time you'll get a receipt, a physical receipt for proof of submission, so that we don't have any confusion this time around. So the deadline for that is August 30th.
Okay. Now, Guam's fishing community, Frank, is large enough, but at the same time at a scale where, you guys can directly interact with each of them on a one-to-one basis and everything. Are you seeing enough of the fishing community, apply for the relief and come out and, interact with you guys on that level?
Yes, I feel like we do get like a certain portion of the fishing community, but there's also the fishing community that we can't reach because some of them aren't as tech savvy, or they don't even have an email address or even a phone. So we try to reach out to them by physically going to the beaches. It's usually led by Veronica, our program coordinator. Mm-hmm. So those who have relatives that have access to the technology to be able to contact us or interact with us digitally, then we get those. But as far as those more traditional fishermen that have just been fishing all their life and don't know anything else, that sometimes we can't even reach them, and sometimes they're the ones that need it the most.
All right, very well. Okay, so let's bring in Brent now, because Brent, I've interviewed you, dozens of times over the years. Very fortunate to do so and everything. And it's kind of interesting how we had Jane in here because she's dealing with teaching people how to hunt the right way. People know you as basically Santa Claus whenever there's like a fishing event, and teaching young people how to fish, how to enjoy the ocean, but also how to make sure that we don't abuse the resources that that we enjoy as islanders. So you got to unmute, Brent. Yeah, your mic's muted right now, Brent. Brent, can you hear me? Your mic's muted right now. Unmute. No. Oh, there we go.
Okay.
There we go. All right. Hi, Brent.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, perfectly. 5 by 5. Yes. So what are you working on right now again? Because like I said, so much of what you've done has been like community outreach and everything. So hopefully we'll get there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what do you got going on, Brent?
Okay. We have our kids fishing derbies coming up in August of this summer. We're going to be holding 2 derbies as normal, but they're going to be a little different this year. The first derby is going to be for children ages 7 to 12, and that's happening on August 14th, Saturday, August 14th. The second derby, which will be happening on Saturday, August 28th, is for older children, kids ages 13 to 16. All of the other rules will be the same as previous year's derbies, and we'll have those available, but we will be holding 2 different age class derbies this year. Now, in previous years, we've had a clinic to teach kids how to cast, how to tie knots, some fishing safety, and the rules of the derbies. We are going to have a clinic this year as well, but we're just having one clinic before both derbies. The fishing derbies clinic will be on Saturday, August 7th. And that will be at the Manila baseball field, 9 o'clock in the morning on Saturday the 7th. The 2 derbies we're having for the kids are going to be in Assen or in the Pacific Park. on Saturday the 14th and Saturday the 28th, and those are go from about 7:30 in the morning until usually after fishing is done, prizes are done, everything about noon is the end of those derbies.
All right, very cool. All right, well, best of luck with that, man. Fitting you say derby. We had the home run derby yesterday, and we got the fishing derby coming up. So like, I'm loving it. Okay, so let's go to Christopher Rosario now. Chris, when last we spoke, you were talking about all the wonderful things that are going on, and possibly even some research within the region about bees, right?
Yes, actually. And so in fact, last week, I actually visited Saipan, and tried to do a little bit of outreach out there, but mainly to look at what is potentially affecting the bees in Saipan. And this is actually what I found here. So I'm going to play a small clip of what I found. So this is actually the mite that's affecting the bees all over the world.
Ooh.
It's responsible for killing a lot of the bees. But in Saipan, despite they have the parasite, it actually, the bees are tolerating it. So maybe perhaps the bees there are maybe resistant to the viruses that the mite is giving off. But there's like so much work that needs to be done here in this region. But this is, again, a parasite of a honeybee. We don't have this on Guam. We haven't seen it on Guam since 2017. So we're actually hoping to do more work in the CNMI, and we want to make sure too that we're not bringing bees in from Hawaii or from the CNMI, and which is why, again, me being at the biosecurity department really helps prevent any of these pests and parasites on our developing honeybee industry for Guam.
Yeah, you talked about it last time, like I said, real quickly, and, like there is the great potential for honeybees to, like have great commercial applicability here and everything like that. But obviously we want to keep invasive species out so it doesn't, wreck that industry before it even gets off the ground.
Yeah, exactly. And this is actually an invasive pest. We don't want to get any more of these mites coming into our region. It is on Saipan, but also the more interesting part is that the bees are actually tolerating this mite. So who knows? We may have super queens that we could potentially export someday. But again, it's present. It's present here in our region.
That's fascinating. So I'll tell you what. Yeah, I'm gonna hit you up on the side, Chris, because we want to do a real in-depth report on this, because this is really, really interesting stuff. But until then, I'm going to go to the other Chris. Christine Farron, who's been blowing up the chat here on Zoom because she goes, God, I love our group chats with everybody being out of sync. So now, the boss. I'm going to hold your feet to the fire, Chris. So of course, primarily you deal with forestry as you've moved up the ranks there at Department of Ag and everything. But real quickly, can you explain these damn gnats that are coming out after it rains all over the grass and everything?
Why would you ask me about gnats?
No, these gnats are all over. Or okay, so maybe even you and Anthony can.
That question back to biosecurity.
Yeah, maybe or even Anthony, could you even jump on that? Because I know Anthony's with Anthony deals with biology, right?
Anthony's one of the wildlife biologists. Yep.
Okay, yeah, Anthony, do you have any reason for? Is it just because of the rain and these black gnats? And I mean, they're all over the place. I mean, they get in your eyes, they get in your nose, and.
It could be the rain, and that's when they say it's the beginning of the rainy season. But we're also historically we see all these influxes of insects because there are no birds, insectivorous birds, or not enough of them eating these insects.
Yeah, part of it is also the response to the changes in the from the climate going from dry to wet. So if it gets more moist, more humid, the insects come out. I mean, it's the same thing, same pattern with bees and hornets. Hornet season is also up and right. I just confirmed two recent hornet sightings just this past week, and for 3 months prior, I haven't seen any hornet nests. Now that we're seeing them come out, and again, it's just the response of the changes from dry to wet. And the same thing when it comes from December to January, it goes from wet to dry. You're going to see those changes. You see the butterflies all of a sudden coming out. So
basically, and if it is in fact seasonal, then not unexpected to some degree, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So now let's go to Christine. Christine, apologies. I don't want to. I don't want to tell you to stay in your lane, but I want to make sure that we can talk about like things that you're familiar. I know she's gonna get on me like later on. I'm gonna get an email. Hey, why are you asking me about gnats? so as far as forestry, what have you guys got?
So yesterday, actually, we launched a tree pruning workshop, and so I had offered 2 of them this week, but we filled all up from the first day with all participants. So yesterday we had DPR, Department of Public Parks and Recreation, Public Works, and Power Authority joined us. We did send an invite to GDOE, but they may not have had anyone available to send this round. And we'll have one for the Mayor's Council later. There's just so many of them that we needed to have, they had to have their own training. So what they did was the 17 individuals from these agencies showed up, and we went through the good cut, bad cut, and basically just it's a refresher workshop because we're moving into school's going to start next month. A lot of tree pruning requests, even tree removal requests are starting to pour in. So we wanted to make sure anyone who's having contact with these requests or trees are making the best management prescriptions per the request. So they came in, good cut, bad cut, and a reminder that a well-pruned tree is a safer and healthier tree. A badly cut tree, I'm not even saying pruning, but a badly cut tree is a safety risk. Anytime you touch that tree and you make a cut on it, there's a potential for tree failure. Mm-hmm. And so that was the take-home message for everyone who participated. Be more aware of the cuts and make sure that they're proper pruning cuts. So it was a great workshop.
So Christine, can you give me maybe like the Cliff Notes version, like real summarized version, like how, for the layman, someone like myself, right? How do you tell the difference between a properly pruned tree and one that was like done haphazardly?
Okay, simple. Topping trees. We've all seen them. Drive down Marine Corps Drive, and you'll take a look around the coastline, and very famous, you'll hit several locations where trees have been just completely topped with no regard for proper branching and an actual strategic removal. It was just this tree is touching the lines or blocking the view, and it's topped. That right there already compromises the tree's structure and stability and will increase the tree's potential for failure. So meaning rotting at all those points where it had been cut and exposed to the elements, you can have potential for fungus or for rotting and decay. And so that is not a proper pruning method. Proper pruning method is selection of branches, strategic selection for removal for a common goal, right? Okay. And many times the goal is just for clearance. We need to have vehicles be able to pass under that tree. And if we make those proper cuts early on, we can have beautiful, big, healthy trees. And so this is one workshop along a course of many several that are coming up this year that will also certify individuals coming in and participating. And it'll be free.
Excellent. Okay. Well, I guess overall, overall, we got to let you guys go. But what I'm hearing here from our friends at Department of Ag is across the agency, you guys, I'm hearing, like words like, outreach, engagement with the community, workshops, relief, and everything like that. So you are starting to get back to that point when you can directly interact with, with consumers, with people who have inquiries and everything like that. And that's a fantastic thing to see. But I know you guys, probably more than anybody, are really also advocating that we as a community stay safe, and we got to keep doing what we're doing.
Yep. And don't forget, it's Liberation Day next week. So we have the Island Beautification Task Force and Department of Agriculture and various partners getting together for cleanups. And July 24th, we have a tree planting. We're launching our first big one for the season. 2,000 trees for our Osgoodall plantation. And then, again, it's in partnership with the IBTF Liberation Day celebration.
Well, we will be there when you guys are planting trees, because that's always a good live stream. We wouldn't miss it for the world. All right, guys. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Thanks,
Bye.
Yeah, have a fantastic day, guys. All right. Please stay tuned to the link, everybody, because when we come back, we talk to our friends at Guam Windward Memorial about how they are helping you and I to cope with grief. That's coming up after this.
The relationship